Good morning, everybody. This is Patry with Edgewood Family Farm again here in southern Indiana. As you can see, I'm dressed a little bit differently this time. We still have snow on the ground from when you saw me last, but today we were lucky enough to be hit with an Arctic blast, and we are currently standing at about 5 degrees. I stopped off down here at the barn to fill up the 4x4 with gas and thought I would take a minute to talk about what does warm weather gear look like on the farm, and then we'll go take care of some chickens this morning. But that's one of the important things. We don't really do aesthetic farming around here, or homestead cosplaying, as I call it. We are pretty practical just in terms of our gear serves a purpose and serves a use. But that's one of the reasons that I'm dressed up like an orange Pillsbury Doughboy today, is the fact that all of this kind of serves a purpose. So when we farm 365 days out of the year. There's not an option to stay inside. There's not an option to be sick, or for it to be too cold, or for it to be too wet. So you have to kind of prepare for those circumstances. I know a lot of farmers that will use coveralls, so they'll wear kind of their normal clothes underneath, and then they'll get one of the big sets of like Carhartt or hunting coveralls. That's an awesome option, especially if you are going to be going to work right after you do chores or those kinds of things. Thankfully, I'm not in that same boat. I have some time before I have to go to work. So I'm going to take you through the layers real quick. Most of these are kind of based on like hiking layers. I used to do a lot of hiking and backpacking, so a lot of the layers that I wear to try to stay warm or to try to stay dry are exactly what I would wear if I was backpacking or I was hiking. And unfortunately, it's more likely that those of us who live in the Midwest, we're not used to these super cold temperatures. We're going to start getting more of these. We're going to be getting these like polar burst kind of things. So we're going to start seeing like the 5 degree, 4 degree, 3 degree days. And I'm lucky we don't have a ton of farm chores that we're doing today. We're just taking care of the chickens, but I don't care. I still want to be warm. So, all right. So at the bottom, you can't really see them, right? They blend in. Hang on. Let me come over here to the concrete. All right. At the bottom, you want a nice waterproof pair of hiking boots. I do the tall ankle ones. You can do the trail runners if you want to. I like the ankle support. I'm getting old. It is what it is. I used to play soccer. My ankles are shot. We won't even talk about my knees. But nice waterproof, they're warm. Wool socks, or at least some kind of thicker thermal socks, or double up your normal socks, all right? Then I've got an outer layer. I'm sorry, let's start with the inner layer. I've got thermals on underneath these. So I've just got a normal pair of thermals, bought them at Bass Pro. They're the Redhead brand. They're not super expensive. They will work for short periods of time. If I was going to be out here all day, I would want to invest in wool underlayers. Now, wool is an investment. It's crazy expensive, okay? You're probably looking at $100 plus for a merino wool pair of like legs. And a shirt would be another $100. So just keep that in mind. But I've just got a regular Redhead brand. I think it was 30 bucks. And then these are my hunting pants. So hunting gear is designed to keep you warm and dry, especially the overlayers. So they're going to have a little bit of water repellent, which is great in the snow, or if you're working with animals, you've got like their water, those kinds of things. It's nice to have a little bit of water repellent overlayer. And you got nice pockets too, which really come in handy, even though I can't get these snapped right now. And they've got the zip up on the side as well, which makes it a little bit easier to put on your shoes. All right. So on my legs, I've just got 2 layers right now. If I were going to be out here all day, as well as getting wool, I would probably wear another layer under these, either jeans, something like that. Then in terms of kind of upper body layers, I've got, again, a thermal is going to be my closest layer. What you want in a thermal is you want something that's pretty much true to size. You want your base layer, your layer closest to your skin, to be a little bit tighter, and you want it to be moisture wicking, which is one of the reasons that wool is common. Again, I have a pretty inexpensive base layer on right now from Bass Pro. I'm out here for 30 minutes. Although my eyebrows are freezing right now. I just saw ice, or it could be my eyelashes. But I've got a light base layer. Next to it, I've got a cotton layer. So my second layer is also a little bit tighter, but it's not like stuck to my body kind of tight. It's 100% cotton. It is going to help with heat retention. It's going to create kind of this layer, like this thermal oven almost in your body. Then I have a sweatshirt. You can use a hoodie, a sweatshirt, whatever you want as that third layer. And then finally I have my coat. This is another piece of my hunting gear. Obviously it's the Blaze Orange. I can turn it inside out. So it's double layer. I can use this camo side, and it's got a little bit of water retention or water repellent to it. So I can use that if I want to. I tend to like the orange layer. I don't know, this is probably the warmest jacket that I own. And I have quite a lot of other nice jackets, but that hunting gear again is kind of built and designed for you to stay outside for hours at a time in really cold temperatures. So it's warm stuff. It's not cheap, but it's warm stuff, and it stands up. I think I've had these for this jacket itself probably for like 5 or 6 years, and well, minus the mud, it pretty much looks brand new. So then kind of the accessories, I almost always wear a hat. My ears get cold. I wear mittens. I'm terrible with gloves. I've mentioned that before. I don't like to wear gloves. I wear mittens. I take them off when I need to use my hands and I need some dexterity, and then I put them back on. Other people that I know, my wife, she likes to wear gloves. I'm horrible with it. It is what it is. And then this gaiter, to be honest, I just got this like 2 weeks ago, and I'm in love with it. We went up to Minnesota for a little vacation at the beginning of the year, and I bought this. It is merino wool. They have a lot of warm stuff up there, obviously. They're more used to these temperatures, so going to a colder area to buy your winter gear can sometimes be really beneficial if that's something that you can do, because they have a lot more options. I like this so much better than wearing a scarf. I don't have to worry about it falling into anything or falling off or getting run over by the 4x4 or, you know, getting dipped in like bird poop or something like that. So that is Winter Wear 101. Let's go feed some chickens. So unfortunately, more than likely, get this open. Yeah, more than likely, this is gonna freeze today. So we're gonna have to come down a couple of times throughout the day and get it unfrozen, as is this bucket. Hang on, I need both hands. Be patient. Yep. Alright, so more than likely, my beautiful wife is going to have to come out and thaw this bad boy a couple of times. That is the one negative. We're relatively off the grid down here. We don't have power or water to any of this part of the farm. So all this back area, pretty much to the road over there. So pretty much to the road over there, all the way back, the stream at the back side is our border, and then all the way over there to that hill on the far side of the farm. We have no power to this area. We have no water to this area. So that means we haul a lot of stuff. And that's another thing to think about whenever you're thinking about a farm. What is this going to look like? We're working on getting solar power down here to the barn. My dad just got the battery generator for it. We're going to run solar panels off the side of the barn. We also have on the far side of the barn that you can't see right now, We have a water tank, 500 gallons. We will probably at some point in time end up with a larger tank than that. And I'll show you someday how that works. There's a guy on here. His name is Nate. He runs an account called Narrow Way Homestead. And he's the one that we got the water barrel idea from. Now he uses his as potable water to be able to drink and bathe with and that kind of stuff. We don't. But that's okay. Everybody does what they need to. So we just collect water, we use it for our animals. We will eventually have sheep and cows, maybe a couple of goats. They're tasty, so maybe a couple of goats in this field here, and we're eventually going to expand our pasture to over here and over here. Farming is pretty much an endless to-do list of just like checklist things in your head. So beyond kind of the expansion and what we're doing with the farm, there are also things like the day-to-day routine stuff. Like as soon as all the snow melts, which hopefully will happen in about a week, we're not supposed to get any added precipitation with this cold, but hopefully we gotta fix our fence. Poor thing, it's pretty much like fallen over. So that's not fun. All right, let's get these kids out. I've talked enough. There we go. Good morning, ladies and George. Hi, babies. Hi. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right. So one of the things that you may notice about our chickens is that we've got a couple of chickens that very clearly have been taken advantage of by our resident rooster. So this is George. George is our resident rooster. He is amazing, but he's got favorites, all right? And he picks on his favorites sometimes. Normally what we would do is we would take his favorites and we would quarantine them. We would put them in another coop. We have a couple of backup coops. We would put them somewhere else, give him a chance to kind of calm his little ornery butt down. Well, we made the decision, especially with this cold weather, especially with this snow and ice, they benefit from being in a group situation. So it's 5 degrees out here, and inside our coop right now, it's about 15 degrees. Well, about 10 degrees. So we're looking at them being able to generate and having generated about 10-ish degrees of heat. The more chickens that there are, the better. They generate heat for themselves. Chickens run, my understanding is a little bit over 100 degrees underneath their bellies when they're kind of sitting together. They stay pretty warm. So being able to have them all in a coop gives them a certain amount of protection from this cold weather. So especially our girls that are a little bit more damaged than others because we have a rooster. Excuse me, ma'am, are you pecking him? But letting them stay, to be honest, has been safer for them than leaving them alone because they have fewer feathers. They can't generate quite the warmth that they would normally be able to, so we leave them here. So that's why you might see a couple of beat up hens. As soon as this thaws and it gets a little bit warmer, they'll go off to quarantine. Give them a chance to regrow their feathers. Give them a chance to get a little bit of a break. And during the spring, George will kind of spread out a little bit. He'll not pick on the girls as much, but during the winter, man, he gets his favorites. And he just thinks he's hot stuff. Don't you, George? Yeah, exactly. Alright. Yeah, I didn't expect... They probably won't go too far today. It's pretty cold. You can see they've kind of made this, they made this space for themselves, so they actually knocked out their bedding and kind of made this pad in the ice and snow for themselves. It's still frozen, solid, but they gave themselves a space to walk on. They don't really like their feet getting too cold. So they'll probably be spending a lot of time inside. And you can see how fluffed up they are. And like this hen that's closest to us, the one, her name is Toast, because she kind of looks like a toasted marshmallow. You see how she's got one foot tucked up under herself? Her foot's cold, poor baby. And you look like you've got blood on your feathers. So these are Brahmas, these white and black ones. And she looks like her foot got hurt. So we normally try during the day, unless there's an emergency. We're not going to do a lot of medical care, do a lot of intervention. We do all of that at night. So tonight when we come down, we will be looking at her foot just to make sure that she's okay. She's not limping, so more than likely it's a peck wound. They tend to kind of peck at each other and pick at each other, and so sometimes you'll see a little bit of blood. She's probably fine. Again, she's not limping. Everybody else looks good. They've been stuck inside quite a bit, unfortunately, because of this weather, which I really don't like. It's not super healthy for them. That's another one of the many things on my to-do list is our chicken run, to build a covered and warmer space for them. So, oh well, the list of things is long. Anyway, I'm getting cold. And I don't have my gloves on, because I needed my fingers, so. Alright. Ladies, it's been real, and it's been fun. I'll see you later. Bye, George! Be good. Or don't, you know. Yeah. My eyebrows are freezing. It really is cold out here. Alright, well, you all stay warm, stay dry, have fun.